Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. Indiana University's Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, presenting Security Matters with tips for improving online security in 3 minutes or less. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The race for governor is narrowing.
She also will have to answer some questions like, gee, you wanted to be superintendent, then you wanted to be governor, now you want to be superintendent again. What exactly is it you want to do?
Ahead, a look at Ritz's future and why analysts say her decision to get out of the governor's race means the remaining candidates will begin seriously discussing the issues and policy. New rules that would broaden the EPA's authority to regulate waterways are set to go into effect this month.
It's probably the biggest land grab in U.S. history.
What would change under the new rules, and why are farmers saying it would make it difficult for them to remain profitable and competitive? And an 81-year-old man makes quite the journey each week to make sure the city of Bloomington stays on time.
The striking of that bell is controlled by the atomic time in Colorado.
We'll take you to the top of the Monroe County Courthouse and show you what it takes to keep it running. Those stories and the latest news headlines from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The Democratic primary for governor might not be as contentious as we once thought.
I am asking you to help me become your 51st governor so that we can have leadership that listens to all sides and that respects the diversity of our great state.
That was just 2 months ago. Since then, Superintendent Glenda Ritz's campaign has been marked by a lack of fundraising and organization. She's now dropping out of the race and instead running for re-election as the state superintendent. In a statement, she said now is not the time for her to run for governor. The best use of my time and talents, she says, will be to serve our children, their families, and the taxpayers of Indiana as superintendent of public instruction. I must continue to be 110% engaged in supporting public education. So what does Ritz's decision mean for the other candidates still in the race, and what does it mean for the future of public education in Indiana? Our team has been following this issue closely, so we go to our education reporter, Rachel Morello, here in our studios, and reporter Brandon Smith at the State House. Brandon, let's start with you. Does this help the Democrats, seeing as how they have a clear front runner now in John Gregg?
Possibly, though I think the best answer is that her dropping out doesn't make much of a difference on that. After we saw those early fundraising numbers, it already looked like John Gregg was the clear frontrunner. Ritz raised a somewhat paltry amount and then had a scandal over the timing of some of those contributions. So it didn't look like she was having much of an impact on the race, and her departure from it probably won't change that.
Brandon, do we know if Democratic Party leaders were meeting with Glenda Ritz and then even possibly requesting she get out of the race?
It doesn't appear so, at least not this early in the campaign cycle. If Ritz had kind of hung in there through later this year, those conversations might have taken place, but at least this early on, it looks like this decision just came from her.
Rachel, let's turn to you. Even in the beginning parts of her gubernatorial campaign, Ritz was relying heavily on her experience in education, focusing on issues like college preparedness. Will she actually be able to get her message out more effectively in a re-election campaign for superintendent?
Well, she's certainly better positioned to deliver that message as an incumbent. Her gubernatorial campaign events were not particularly well attended. She was seeing smaller crowds there than she was at any event she hosted as superintendent. And she has a broad base of support from teachers, who are obviously a more appropriate audience for the message she's pushing with education.
Well, and we actually spoke to a political analyst on the same issue, but we asked him what it would mean for John Gregg's campaign message. Here's what he said.
Now that Ritz has decided she's going to run for superintendent, she and Gregg can really begin to work together and talk about education across two campaigns, talk about how it relates to economic development, how it relates to public safety, how it relates to everything about state government. They can reinforce the messages that the other is delivering, and really you get a benefit there. You have a team running as opposed to a series of individuals running.
Let's go to Brandon. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. In some ways, I think having Ritz run for state superintendent again frees up John Gregg to really focus in on the messages and the topics he's more in tune with, while letting Ritz hammer away at Mike Pence on education.
Well, and speaking of hammering Mike Pence, Ritz was running a very anti-Pence campaign. Some of our viewers might be familiar with the back and forth Governor Pence and Ritz have had since they took office. Most of us by now have seen the signs that say, "Fire Mike Pence" and "Pence must go." Brandon, now that Ritz is out of the race, will those sentiments go away?
Oh, no, not at all. As we heard from Andy Downs, this really allows Ritz and Gregg to work together now, and a primary focus will be on how poor a job they think Mike Pence has done. Really, this campaign was always going to be as much anti-Pence as it was pro whoever the Democratic nominee is going to be.
Rachel, similar question. Do you expect Ritz to tone down her rhetoric against the governor in her superintendent campaign?
I don't. As an incumbent now, Ritz will have to defend her record as superintendent because challengers can say, well, you said you were going to do X and you weren't able to accomplish that. Why not? And in Ritz's case, she can point to the governor as her defense. The power struggles between Ritz and Pence have been some of the biggest headlines during her tenure so far. So, for example, the creation of Pence's Center for Education and Career Innovation, or the controversy over the length of the statewide I-STEP test this past spring. This makes it easy for her to blame policy failures on the fact that, from her perspective, the governor isn't letting her get any work done. And this can actually help her party, especially John Gregg, because it pushes their message that it's time for a change.
And we should remember the general election is still 15 months away, so there is plenty of time for all this to change. Thank you, Brandon, and thank you, Rachel.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
Most people agree clean rivers and streams are vital to our health. The divide comes when we start talking about who should make sure those waterways are kept clean, who should regulate them, or should they be regulated at all? As Gretchen Frazee reports, the Environmental Protection Agency plans to implement a new set of rules this month that has farmers up in arms.
This is the Yellow River. This was not considered to be a navigable waterway.
This small river in northern Indiana seems peaceful, but it's becoming a big headache for farmer Charlie Huyen.
All of our ditches pour into this river at some point in time. There's a tributary right there. According to the new rule, that's a ditch that is considered now part of the waters of the U.S.
Starting August 28th, that designation means Huyen will have to get a permit for this tributary and likely more than a dozen other ditches on his property that connect to the Yellow River. It's part of the EPA's plan to clarify which waters it regulates. The EPA has regulated navigable waterways since the Clean Water Act went into effect in 1972. The new rules clarify the agency can also regulate tributaries and defines those tributaries as any waterway that has a bed, bank, and high water mark, a mark on the bank where erosion is visible. EPA officials say the new rules will protect not only the public's health, but businesses too.
From manufacturing and energy production to agriculture, to food service, to tourism and recreation, major sectors of our economy all depend on clean water to function and to flourish.
But farmers say the EPA's rules are too broad.
The lack of clarity is really concerning to us. The definitions are written so broadly that we have no indication for what will require permit and what will not.
The Farm Bureau is hoping Congress will pass a new law limiting the EPA's authority and stopping the water regulations from going into effect. But it's more likely that will be decided in court. Indiana and 11 other states have filed a lawsuit seeking to stop the EPA. The Indiana Attorney General argues the agency has, quote, greatly overstepped its bounds by intruding into an area of state environmental jurisdiction with a rule that is impractical, potentially harmful to Indiana's agricultural economy, and costly to taxpayers.
I'm really confused by that argument. I mean, the Supreme Court decisions themselves that threw the Clean Water Act into this, question about where the jurisdiction began and ended, called on the EPA to do this sort of rulemaking to clarify what their jurisdiction is. The question is, how do you determine what those waterways are? And so what EPA did by enacting this rule is look at the science behind that.
EPA officials say they're allowing exemptions for farming. The key is that while that's true for many farming practices, such as plowing, it might not apply to fertilizer runoff.
Agriculture runoff with excess nutrients and our blue-green algae problem, excess phosphorus, as well as pesticides and chemicals from farm fields are the #1 polluter of our waterways right now.
Charlie Huyen says he and other farmers take extra precautions to keep that from happening. That includes precision farming, where a GPS in his tractors allows him to apply the exact amount of fertilizer needed on each inch of land. No more, no less.
When I see just a dust storm coming over our fields in the springtime, going like, oh my goodness, there goes my fertilizer. I really don't want that to move. Farming has evolved into practices to prevent erosion, wind or water. I like to keep my money in my own fields, so I would like it to stay here.
Huyen says if he has to apply for EPA permits later this month, he will. But he wants EPA officials to know he's invested in the land and, in turn, the environment.
My kids drink the same water that we put on the fields. That's something that gets very personal to me, where I want clean drinking water too, just like the next person. Especially when you're talking about a multi-generation farm, it means a lot. So you want to see the next generation come in and work the ground and preserve the ground like you preserved it.
The question is, will that land be preserved voluntarily or through federal regulations? For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Gretchen Frazee.
In addition to the 12 states involved in the lawsuit, officials from 30 other states have sent a letter to the head of the EPA asking her to delay the new rules for at least 9 months so the courts can review the pending legal challenges. And now for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brosier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. A second Democratic candidate is getting into the race for U.S. Senate. John Dickerson is the longtime executive director of the Arc of Indiana, a nonprofit organization that advocates for people with mental disabilities. Dickerson will face off against former Congressman Baron Hill in the Democratic primary next spring. The winner will then face one of 3 Republican candidates in the general election. The Department of Child Services plans to hire more than 100 new caseworkers to keep up with the spike in demand. The announcement comes after the ACLU filed a lawsuit last month accusing the DCS of giving its workers more cases than state law allows. But Governor Pence says the decision isn't just because of state law. He says it's a moral obligation.
To authorize this agency to hire 113 additional caseworkers is not just simply born of a statutory obligation. It's really born of what I believe is a moral obligation, an obligation we have to our kids and to the dedicated men and women who serve them.
The DCS had already decided to hire 100 new workers last year, but since then, caseloads have increased 26%. Indiana middle and high school students are using electronic cigarettes more than traditional cigarettes and other nicotine products. That's according to an annual survey of the drug and alcohol habits of Hoosier kids. This is the first year the Indiana Youth Survey asked students about using e-cigarettes or vaping pens. Almost 25% of the Hoosier 12th grade respondents say they had used the handheld electronic devices that vaporize liquid nicotine in the last month, which is higher than the national average. Researchers say the results aren't necessarily surprising.
It's a smoking state. We're pretty high for adult use of tobacco too. I think we're a little below Kentucky, but we're pretty high.
Indiana law prohibits anyone under 18 years old to buy e-cigarettes. Farms in all but 4 of Indiana's counties are getting some relief from floods that devastated much of their crop this summer. The USDA approved a disaster declaration for Indiana after the state experienced the second wettest June and July in its recorded history. That means farmers in 88 counties will be allowed to apply for low-interest loans to make up for their losses. Farmers in 50 counties lost at least a third of their crop. That also means Indiana won't have as large a harvest this year. A group of agriculture experts met this week to analyze the first federal crop report of the year, and it doesn't look good.
Indiana corn crops are expected to decline by about 20% from last year, while soybeans are only down 9%.
There are some fields around the state, and depending on where you farm, you may find this hard to believe, but there are some fields around the state that are the best corn they've ever had. It is that good. But there are many other areas of the state where fields are total disaster, literally total disaster, nothing, and then everything in between.
The decline likely won't change prices very much at the grocery store, though.
Now, the reason for that is that while we had an impact to lower yields here, in other parts of the Corn Belt, particularly the western Corn Belt, Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, Nebraska, they have excellent crops and even record yields.
Chris Hurt says beef prices have also spiked to record highs, but he expects those to come down over the next few months. As students go back to school this month, there's been a new push to make it easier for parents to find alternative schools.
So myschooloptions.org is a one-stop shop for parents.
The Institute for Quality Education, a school choice group based in Indianapolis, launched a website earlier this year that allows parents to shop around for schools. You pick what kind of school you want, a traditional public school, charter school, or private school. Then you can filter it down to the schools near you or find out if you qualify for a voucher. The site got more than 20,000 page views this summer as parents decided where to enroll their students.
We're getting a really great response from parents, and I think that they are thankful that there is sort of a one-stop shop where they can go and get all the information they need.
But public education advocates say these kinds of websites don't provide the whole picture.
I'm always frustrating with these sort of examine your school options things because they really just look at such a narrow take on what makes a good school, primarily test scores and the state grades. And I just really think, based on my personal experience as a parent, that those things tell us so little about what quality of education any individual child will really find at that school.
29,000 students enrolled in the state's voucher program last year, and preliminary numbers indicate this year's numbers will be even higher. And the dog days of summer are upon us in Bloomington and in the pool. Mills Pool held its annual Drool in the Pool event this week, where dogs get to enjoy the water before the pool is closed for the year. Take a look.
This started just kind of as a crazy idea 11 years ago. What if we let the dogs in the pool after the season closes on one of the pools? And it's just a fun thing. And it's all family oriented, and including the four-legged friends. We'll have everything from the mini Chihuahuas to Great Danes, and they'll all be in the same place at the same time, having a good time. There's actually a couple dogs that we know that are here every year that we can hear them coming when they'll have the window down in the car, and we can hear them coming down the street.
He knew right when we got here he could not wait to get out.
So the pools are closed. Joe, does that mean summer's over already?
Yeah, and I was just wondering why you didn't take your cats to the
I know. I don't think the cats would have liked that very much.
Probably not.
They're a little
probably
too
not
prissy.
The dogs either.
No.
Yeah. Thanks, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk, we take you to the top of the Monroe County Courthouse and introduce you to the man who keeps the clocks running. And the state fair is in full swing. We talk to fairgoers about what they think are the best attractions this year. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Turn to PBS for stories that define the American experience.
All of this stuff was just erupting.
Revealing our strengths.
You create a new future.
Our struggles.
It's very American to say, this is not right.
These are our stories.
We were so innocent, and oddly enough, we were so American.
Our American experience.
Tuesday evening at 9.
10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18,500.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it. It's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Indiana's courthouse squares are often referred to as the centerpieces of the community. Many counties take special care when it comes to preserving the historic buildings. And in Monroe County, an 81-year-old man plays a special role in making sure the courthouse isn't completely frozen in time.
Not many people would consider this an easy journey.
You're all right with that, carrying it?
But as Dale Hepfer makes his way up flight after flight of stairs, his age doesn't show.
Now you might say you're getting into the guts of it.
Once a week, either Hepfer or his business partner hikes to the top of the Monroe County Courthouse to make sure the 4 clocks you see outside are running okay on the inside.
When I get here, I always check this monitor here. That's an indicator of what's on the outside of the dials.
In order to keep those clocks ticking, he has to wind them up every 7 days.
See those blocks of stone, concrete? Well, they power this clock here. They furnish the power for this clock. The cables come right here, go down to that, and they keep this thing running. Now this is the pendulum, and it makes it keep time, you know.
The job requires a lot of expertise, but it's something Hepfer just fell into.
I worked at RCA for 22 years, and they let us go or shut it down, you know, and I went to, worked in a couple different places. So I went to Nashville and started learning how to repair clocks, and went on from there.
He eventually expanded his business out of his basement and into the city of Bloomington.
There's always a new challenge. You always get something new. For instance, the Monon clock that's over in the City Hall, you know about it. That's a challenge. That was a challenge.
It's that challenge that keeps Hepfer climbing up and down these stairs week after week to keep this place running like clockwork.
And the people, of course, is what I like more than anything else. Everybody that comes and gets me to fix their clock, why, they're a friend.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
And the man himself, Dale Hepfer, is here with us in the studio now to tell us more about this fascinating job. How do you make it through those steps every week?
Oh,
it's a lot of steps.
Yeah, it's quite a few steps, but not all that steep. You know, they're decent.
Yeah, you get it done.
Oh yeah.
Now, what about? I heard in the story that you have to wind it up every 7 days. Why is that?
Well, the cables are long enough to run for 7 days, and then they'd be stopped. They would hit the bottom of the dome, and they'd quit.
So now, I hear though before you did this, there was a father-son team who took care of the courthouse.
Bob Dixon and his dad.
Tell us a little bit about them.
They did it for 72 years.
72 years?
That's a long time.
Wow. How did they get involved in it?
Well, you know how they got started. Her dad, Bob's dad, was a watchmaker in downtown Bloomington. So when they needed somebody, it was logical to pick somebody that knew how to keep time, you know.
Now, has the clock ever just stopped working?
We have not run into that. We've been 5 years at it, and we've not run into a stoppage, you might say. Well, we've had things go wrong,
sure,
but they did not stop, and it kept running.
Now, with changing technology, is there anything that maybe they would look at down the road into changing so that someone wouldn't have to go up there every 7 days? Or is that just part of the charm?
Well, they have put on the bell, you know, they put in an electronic control with Colorado, so the bell is on at X time all the time, perfect. But our side is synced in with it, and I would be disappointed if anybody changed anything for another 50 years.
Maybe a cuckoo clock up there or something?
No cuckoo clocks.
No, why not?
Well, historically, cuckoo clockmakers do not like cuckoo clocks, period.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, they're manufactured kind of cheaply, and they're erratic. You know, you get them fixed and you put them in your shop and you test them for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you send them home, and a week later they come back, they quit.
We wouldn't want that, would we?
Well, they come back and we take care of them, though.
All right, thank you very much for being here
You're
today.
welcome.
Appreciate it. The Indiana State Fair provides a slice of Americana that you really can't find all in one place at any other time of the year. The fair dates back to 1852. Originally, it was a place for farmers to get together, swap ideas, share techniques, and show off their products. More than 160 years later, it draws big crowds for all kinds of reasons. If you can eat it, chances are someone here can fry it. There's fried Oreos, fried candy bars, corn dogs, and a popular favorite,
fried pickles and ice cream.
Some of the food is specific to Indiana.
The dairy barn over there has delicious food. We have grilled cheese sandwiches and milkshakes.
There's roasted corn on the cob, and the Cattlemen's Association grills up flame-kissed burgers. The Midway is the perfect place to people watch or maybe test your skills at a game of skee ball or whatever your favorite may be.
I was playing like a corkscrew game, and I got this ball. And I played a game where you throw ping pongs into little bowls, and I got 4/5.
The sounds all blend together as kids enjoy the rides and their parents look on.
The scary ride.
And let's not forget tradition. After all, this is the year of the farmer.
I show pigs, so that's my favorite part. We have some family friends that we like to come watch, show like cattle and her and like pigs and stuff.
The State Fair runs through August 23rd. That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. Indiana University's Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, presenting Security Matters with tips for improving online security in 3 minutes or less. And by WTIU members. Thank you.